Hi guys, Toy here. And you know what? It feels good to be writing. So I am still getting back into the group of things. And so I am recording my writing vlog this week. And it's a little bit different. Everything has been a little bit different. I guess I should really be working towards a new normal. I do have a little bit of video content to share, but not a traditional like me doing like writing sprints and things, stuff like that. Maybe we'll get back into that next month. But so what I wanted to talk about is that as ever, I am writing, but I'm writing slowly. I do what I can, but the fact that I'm writing, I consider a triumph. I am taking a class right now at the Muse Writer Center. It's creative nonfiction 3. It has a focus on memoir, but not everybody in the class is working on a memoir. They're working on other creative nonfiction things. And so it's been a pretty good experience. And so I'll share a little clip of just me, like I'm not recording other people without their permission or anything. It's actually muted, but I just wanted to show you how I'm kind of participating because it's an online class. And so we're going to just look at some of that. Let's start here. So I am just, sitting at my computer. Obviously, I'm facing the screen, listening to what's happening, contemplating. Um, I don't take classes because I don't feel like I'm a good enough writer. I am definitely the kind of person who thinks I can always be improving. I love getting better at my craft. But I think there's this stigma that if you have done something, you don't ever need to study it again. And I don't agree with that. It's like if you are a published author, why do you need to take writing classes? Well, what if I just want to take a writing class? I don't know. But anyway, I usually write fiction, and so this is an opportunity for me to workshop my things. And not only is it beneficial for me to share my work with other people and get their feedback, but it's beneficial to read other people's things and give them feedback, which I get lots of experience with that with the aspiring writer I've been mentoring because I give her feedback on her work all the time. But again, that's fiction. This is nonfiction. And so I don't have a lot of experience with that. That's why I'm taking the class. So let's look at the next little clip. The next clip again is it's muted. It's just me. I didn't want to record people without their permission, but I just wanted to show how in this little clip, I think at one point am like, conversing, like offering like my feedback. And I think I may skip through to the point where I actually make a comment. Um, Yeah, I'm gonna go back a little bit and see if I can just hear the comment that I made. Because I think what I did when I recorded it, I did want I knew I was going to be called on and I wanted to record myself, but not the other people. So I think I've gotten to it. So let's see what I said. I love the fact that she has this kind of explanation and kind of understanding like this process happening of knowing that there are some writers who don't read for whatever reason, and then there are other writers who they have to be reading. I'm one of those writers that I have to be reading something, and it's difficult for me to understand other writers who are like, I'm a writer, not a reader, like that I've heard that someone say that to me, and I've like blinked and been like, did I just pass out? Because I'm not that way. I mean, I get that someone else is, but for me, I have to be, reading in order to have that inspiration, that motivation to want to continue writing. But yeah, that was just my little answer to a question that was asked. One more little clip. I think it's so interesting that this is an online class, and we're doing everything. You know, via the screen. Kind of, I'm talking to you right now, but and I'm also like taking notes on my laptop as I'm participating. But sometimes I don't know if it's a tactile thing or a motor brain kind of situation. But sometimes I'll want to write something down. I'll probably still type it into my notes later, but writing it down can be beneficial for me. So here is just me doodling some notes from the screen part of the class and just doing that. So yeah, that's what we see as me writing notes in addition to notes that I was, putting on the laptop. Is anyone else like that? I am very much a product of the digital age. Like I love technology to a certain degree. I don't like to be reliant on it, but I love taking advantage of it. But there are times when I do want to step back and have like that analog experience. Is that just me, or do other people feel like that? I know there are some people who are very adamant one way or another, like they only handwrite and don't put anything in the computer until they're absolutely ready. And I know there's people who absolutely never handwrite and do everything in the computer. And I lean more towards that end. I'm not going to be drafting anything by hand, but I will definitely take notes by hand. So that's, you just see me taking some class notes. All right, so I just, like I said, I just wanted to share a little bit of that, me taking the writing class, which is to me very much in line with my writing vlog. So that's why we did that. Um, let's talk a little bit about what I've been writing, and I think we'll keep this fairly short this month. I have made a lot of changes to the structure of like how I do things, and so I have a Patreon that's set up, and I used to talk about like all of my, writing stuff on there. But then I realized that not all of my stuff is for the same audience. So they're just getting fiction moving forward because that's what I predominantly write. But because I've been spending so much time working on this creative nonfiction project, this memoir, I needed another outlet for that. And so the book that I'm currently working on is called I Wish I Could Eat That. And I'm actually going to be sharing more about that process on my authentic channel. So not going to dive too much deeply into that here, but it's I believe now in its fourth iteration, just because I've had some changes, some additions, some subtractions. I've been working on coining this phrase "authentic" that that was kind of like keeping me from moving forward with it. But stars have aligned, as some people say. I don't really believe in astrology, but everything seems to be going where I want to. So I'll definitely be sharing more about the writing part or the publication of I Wish I Could Eat That over on Authentic. For this writing blog, I'm just going to mention, the other things that I've been writing. I have many ongoing projects that you've been on this channel, you've heard of them before. Mark of Blessing is always ongoing. I don't have any updates for it right now, but I'm really hoping this weekend to kind of get back into my outline and my draft and do some of that. I've been actively working on my toy box of words. I did some restructuring with that, which I mentioned to my Patreon community, I think either last week. Yeah, it was last week. And so my original plan, I had it, worked out to where it was 11 short stories that were being embedded into a larger story, all based on a young man playing a video game created by his grandfather. And it just, something about it wasn't just clicking with me. And I realized that the last story that I was going to include in it was really kind of a dynamic story that really needed to stand on its own. Plus, it was already partially present in another like publication. So I was like, I'm not gonna add that to it because the story that came before that was really what was kind of for me drawing the story to like the climax that I had been stuck on finding for a long time. So now it's 10 short stories, which I like a round number. I don't know why I had convinced myself that 11 was going to be okay with someone like me. I'm the kind of person that if you don't butter my toast all the way to the edge and I twitch or something. So yeah, I'm really excited about with this current plan that I have for the Toy Box of Words of really just getting into the climax of the story. I'm at a point where the young man has told his friends about the game. They've had a chance to kind of see it, and now they're going to be kind of playing it with him as they're going through the stories and kind of experiencing this like out of body moment where they are in the video games. And each video game level is a different short story. So that's how that all is connected. I've also been working on some other projects. I mean, I have so many projects, but there was one that I had kind of set aside for a while. I was following another blogger. I believe her blog is I Love Space, and she had talked about some research she found about, I don't know science. I'm not going to try to explain here, but basically there's some kind of way where you can I guess store code in birdsong. And so I had been writing this Raven Saga like series of like short stories that were part of like a bigger story. And it just like inspired because I had this section of it that I was like, I don't really know what to do with the story, just kind of falls flat here. And for some reason that inspired me to take that idea and weave it into that story. So I've definitely been writing in some of my Raven Saga, and I'll be sharing those with my Patreon supporters soon. But the most immediate thing that I've been working on is that I was hoping to release a shorter collection of short stories. And I still might. Again, I am at a point where I'm not putting a lot of pressure on myself to like produce. I write because I love it. It's part of who I am. I do not write solely for the purpose of publication. I don't need to publish. I like doing it. I like sharing my work and putting it out there. There are some projects when I write them, I have no intention of ever sharing them with the public. And then to this day, I haven't shared those things. But there are things that I do write that I want to share with others. And so this collection is something that I thought would be something good to like share because I'm going to be speaking at the 2026 RavenCon. And it's kind of in line with that community. There are like dark stories, ghost stories, paranormal type stories. So I've been working on that. If I, get the collection completed in enough time to do maybe a soft launch, I will, but I'm not going to stress about it because I'm really enjoying just writing the stories. So two of the stories I had written previously, and I was just kind of going in and kind of reworking them, polishing them up a little bit. But I was attending a class recently. It was just a one-off class, and we were talking about um, ghost stories and what part they play in culture. And it inspired me to write a story based upon kind of a myth. I mean, or a ghost story that I heard as a child. I've used a lot of myself. Like I'm using like my nickname in the story. I'm using the name of like some of my relatives, but it's all very kind of fictionalized, if that makes sense. Like this isn't exactly how it happened. Like I'm not exactly the age that I say that I was in the story, but I'm just enjoying the process of writing this ghost story. And I think I'm gonna be calling it The Wagons Trail. And of course, that'll make more sense once I start actually telling people about the story. But I want to get further along with it before I do that. Just know that is it's a ghost story that is related to it's a generational thing. It goes back towards times of slavery into the more modern time and this connection of the ghost and all this kind of stuff. So that's something that I've been really enjoying writing. So that's all I have for this month. I hope to be able to follow up with some more specifics about the Wagons Trail if I keep that title and let you know more what that story is about. Um, Hopefully, I'll have an update for the 12 Box of Words, maybe even something for the Mark of Letzian. But those aren't the only things I'm working on. So we'll just see what happens. I would love to know what does writing mean to you guys? For me, like I said, I write because it's just kind of part of who I am. I love it. I don't have to publish things, but I like sharing them. I find writing to be very therapeutic. And so that's what happened with I Wish I Could Eat That. I literally wrote the whole book because it was very therapeutic for me. It wasn't until after I finished, I think, the first draft that I even considered sharing it with other people. So with that said, I did pretty well. I didn't get completely out of breath this time. Yeah, guys, that's my writing blog for this month. If leave me a comment below, let me know what you're writing. And until next, guys, stay safe and be blessed.
Hey, guess what? If you like what you see, you can totally subscribe to this channel. You could also give it a like and leave me a comment. I would totally love that. Okay, bye-bye.